What's up, everyone? This is MTG Ice Cube. This is our third actual video, and I haven't posted in a while, so let's start with the deck tech. So this is for Pauper, the Pauper format. If you don't know what it is, look it up. You're only allowed to use common cards, and it has a very, very diverse metagame. So let's get started. This is Pauper UB or Blue-Black Alchemy. So if you don't know what alchemy is, we're just going to look at Forbidden Alchemy. So it is a 3-mana instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard with flashback for 6 and a black. So that is what Forbidden Alchemy does. And it's really good. So we can use the other 3 cards that we dumped into our graveyards if we get turn 3 Forbidden Alchemy to get a turn 4 Gurmag Angler. If you don't know what that does, Gurmag Angler is 6 and a black, 5/5 with Delve, which is each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1. So that is what Gurmag Angler does. And this deck is pretty mid-rangey. So what we do is we get Gurmag Angler out as early as possible, then kill all their things with various removal spells, and win like that. And so we have in Maindeck, the most expensive card in here is going to be Chainer's Edict, which is 1 and a black. Target player sacrifices a creature with flashback for 7. And yeah, that's pretty much the core. So let's start with the Manabase. We run 4 Dismal Backwaters, a Bojuka Bog against graveyard-themed decks, and 3 Dimir Aqueducts. Now, if you don't know what Dimir Aqueduct does, it's like one of the bounce lands. It's the Dimir bounce land. It's a land that enters tapped. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand, and then you can tap it to add a blue and a black to your mana pool. So, yeah, and then just 9 Islands, 6 Swamps is the other part of the mana base. Now, the only other creature in this deck besides in the sideboard, but the only other creature in this deck is Augur of Bolas. And you're usually never going to side those out. It's really important. So here's what it does. It's 1 and a blue for a 1/3 creature merfolk wizard. When Augur of Bolas enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest onto the bottom of your library in any order. So despite the fact that it is not as good as Forbidden Alchemy because you don't get it into your graveyard, it's still really good because we can get our removal spells, our draw card spells, our counter spells, and let's look at the removal spells. So we've got Disfigure, which is just a black and instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. So yeah, that's really good for just taking out like Delver of Secrets and stuff. Then we run 1 Ghastly Demise, which is 1 black. Destroy target non-black creature if its toughness is less or equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. So yeah, that's you usually have a lot of cards in your graveyard since you're casting this for 1 because of all the other spells we have in this deck, and then also because of Forbidden Alchemy. And then we run Tragic Slip, which is 1 black. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn at instant speed, but it has Morbid, and that creature gets -13/-13 instead if a creature died this turn. So what you can do is use Chainer's Edict to make them sack away one of their less important creatures, and then boom, use Tragic Slip for 1 black, and then take out like their Ulamog's Crusher, or maybe another Gurmag Angler, or something like that. We also run Echoing Decay to take out token armies. And that's most of the removal. So for counterspells, we run 2 counterspells. I would love to run 4, but it's 2 blue, and on turn 2 and 3, we're usually not going to have that, so instead, we run Prohibit, which is 1 in a blue, counter target spell if its converted mana cost is 2 or less. It has Kicker for 2. If you paid the Kicker cost, counter that spell if its converted mana cost is 4 or less instead. So it's at instant speed, and you can basically take out most cheap things pretty quickly. And another part of the removal is Doomblade. We only run 1 of those, just, you know, the 1 mana, 1 black, destroy target non-black creature, quick, and it's really good. Diabolic Edict is basically another version of Chainer's Edict, except without the flashback, and it's at instant speed. Now, Evincar's Justice, it's our sweeper, and you can pay 2 and 2 black. Evincar's Justice deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. So, and then it has buyback for 3, which means as you cast the spell, if you do, you put this card into your hand as it resolves. So you get it back if you pay its buyback cost. But you can use these to take out token armies as well. You can use them for just like Stompy or lots of little creatures. Yeah, and so they're really good. And then we have a couple draw card spells. Think Twice just draws you a card, and then it has flashback. It's okay. Then we also run Compulsive Research, which is quite a good card. 2 and a blue, sorcery. Target player draws 3 cards, and that player discards 2 cards unless that player discards a land. So it's like kind of like a brainstorm, except you can discard a land instead. So yeah. Then we also run 3 Duress for combo-themed decks. Do you know what that is? Duress is just, yeah. Then another Chainer's Edict if we need, another Chainer's Edict, or if they have lots of, like if they have, for example, a creature with hexproof and you want to get around targets. Dispel counters an instant spell for 1 blue, so that's pretty good. And then Vodalian Zombie, it's a 1 blue, 1 black, pro green, 2/2, so we'll side that in against maybe Stompy or Elves. Into the Royal, just, gets rid of big things and big threats. Stormbound Geist. Now that is a really good card. Let's take a look at it for a second. It can block creatures with flying, only with flying, and then it has flying. It's 1 and 2 blue for a 2/2, and then it has Undying, which is really good in this format. When this creature dies, if it has no +1/+1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it instead. So, yeah, we side that in against Delver. It it can block Delver and kill it. And then also, Hydroblast, 1 blue, instant counter target spell if it's blue, or destroy target permanent if it's, or no, that's red, sorry. Counter target spell if it's red, or destroy target permanent if it's red. And then there's also Pyroblast, which is the same thing except vice versa. It's red and does the same thing for blue, but since we're not in red, we're not gonna look at that. So yeah, that's what this deck is about. It's gonna cost you around $40. Not always. You can probably, if you have some of the cards already, which you mostly will since it's Pauper and it's commons, you'll find it around the 30, 35, 40 range. And yeah, that is Pauper Blue-Black Alchemy. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.